A Black Friday quiz, which is better? One, paying $3.49 for a 1 month all access, or two, paying $244.30 for 1 month all access. The day after Thanksgiving, we want to continue giving thanks by giving all of our customers 30% off anything priced at $149 or more. A Black Friday sale was always a once-a-year chance to buy something at big discount, and this is it. Even better, we are running this promotion Black Friday through the end of Cyber Monday and making coupon code THANKS30 have unlimited uses. Whether it's a single sport package, a 30-day all access, a full season of college hoops, or a full 12 months from your favorite handicapper, you will save 30% with coupon THANKS30. You can fill your goodie bag as many times as you want until the clock strikes midnight on Monday.
I'm back, baby. Welcome, everybody, to Wager Talk. Today, I'm Lawrence Presman. That man is Steve Merril, and we have a jam-packed show for you all. Really appreciate the 19 likes before we even got on the air. More importantly, the one thumbs down before we got on the air. So it means so much to me when our competitors log on just to give us a thumbs down. Ralph Michaels joining us off the top. He's got a chart, and then we're going to talk Oklahoma State, and Duke and Gonzaga in tonight's college basketball card. Adam Trigger joining us after that, and he's talking 49ers. That's going to be a fun game, Steve, and he's got another game coming up. So 2 games for him, and Andy Lang at the end of the show. 3 NFL props. Dude, thanks for sitting in for me. The trip was incredible. The weather was outstanding. Punta Cana is just an amazing place. Great resort, great weather, great beaches, casino there. Tried my luck at the roulette table, to no avail again for the 700th attempt at the roulette table. Other than that, how are you, Steve?
Good. Any poker there, Prez? Any poker, or did you take a poker break?
No poker. Plus, I was with my woman, and she would have killed me. But I got to tell you, in all seriousness, so I go down to the World Series of Poker with my friend Corey, and he's on the flight down, and he's like, Prez, I kill it at roulette. I'm like, Core, that is the single worst odds in the casino. Nobody wins at roulette. Dude won 10 grand. At roulette. Never had a losing session. So I'm like, okay, Viv, let's try roulette in Punta Cana. Corey made it work. We can make it work. Yeah, no. I called him on the phone. I'm like, what is your system? We're at the table. I'm like, what do I do? I need to win at roulette. He's like, just keep your money. So, yeah. And Caribbean poker I played there. That didn't go well either. I lost a whole $80 or something. It's so funny, Steve. I'm a hardcore gambler, and I never, ever play table games.
I hate casinos. No, I hate them because we have an edge. Poker, you have an edge. Sports betting, you have an edge. You do, I do as well. I don't need the rush of sitting down and playing at the table games. We get that. I don't want to say it's a rush because I don't do this for the rush, but every day we have action. The last 20 plus years, we've had action every day. I'm with you, Prez. I actually hate table games, and it's because I know I don't have an edge, and so I don't enjoy them at all.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't want to sit there. It's boring. Anyway, what did you learn in the wonderful world of sports betting? What a day of NFL yesterday.
Yeah, it really was an excellent NFL day. We got 3 big guests here. I'm going to do a big game breakdown in between, so I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but I had to bring up something I put out on Twitter during the Cowboy game last night. I thought it was a huge mistake, middle third quarter. Dallas was down by 5. They cut it to 5, and they went for 2. And regardless of the outcome, and everyone's like, well, it would have been a great decision had they made it. It wasn't, because getting to 4 middle of the third quarter is very important because you can get a field goal, be down by 7. The Raiders, by the way, went down and got a field goal. Dallas, of course, had missed that too. So now they're down by 8, and now they're playing catch-up, and they have to go for 2 every time. Got an interesting little Twitter discussion going with some followers during that game. I just think NFL coaches continue to make a mistake when they go for 2. Now, theoretically, and in the human database, Ralph Michaels is coming on in a moment, so I'd love to get Ralph's take on it as well. Theoretically, you should go for 2 every time since they moved the extra point back to the 15-yard line back in 2016, because since then, the conversion rate of extra point kicks have gone from 99% down to 94% with the extra 15 yards. 2-point conversions roughly around 49%. That comes out to an expected 98% when you double it, because it's worth 2 versus 94. Now, obviously, if it's a tie game, final play of the game, you kick it. So not always go for 2. But if I was a coach, I'd go for 2 from the start. But that's not what Dallas did. They did it because they thought it was the right move. It's not the right move mid-third quarter when there's a lot of scoring, and we saw a ton of scoring after that. But Prez, the 2-point conversion is still misused in the NFL, and we saw it again last night.
You know, Steven, it's such a great point you made, because I agree with you. Firstly, I would always go for 2 as well, from start to finish. Frankly, I would be going for it on 4th down and 1 100% of the time, no matter where I am on the field, unless, of course, I'm up by a lot. Look, Mike McCarthy is known for being an idiot. His wife thinks he's an idiot. Children think he's an idiot. So we're not going to argue the point on whether Mike McCarthy knows what he's doing, because he doesn't. With that said, it's straight math, man. And the thing is, and we talk about poker a lot, you have a 12% chance of flopping a set if you have a pair. That 12% chance goes away if you fold a pair. You have to play the pair every time to get that 12%. You can't just randomly decide when to go for 2 or not go for 2. You should be going for 2 from the start of the game till the end of the game, unless that 1 on your last touchdown is a crucial one, i.e. you're down by 6, or i.e. you need to tie the game. Other than that, it's a 2-point conversion 100% of the time. But hey, Jerry Jones ain't calling me and asking me to coach that team. Ralph Michaels, anything to add to this discussion, my friend?
No, numbers are numbers, analytics are analytics. I would not automatically go for 2 every time. Obviously, if I have a kicker that's going to make every extra point, those points are invaluable in the NFL. If I have a kicker that hits 80%, then yes. If I have an O-line that I know can get me 2 yards, yes. But if I'm a passing team and it's windy, I'm not going to go for 2 every time from the 2-point line. So to me, there's still variables inside the variables, but I don't get paid to think about that stuff. I get paid to come up with interesting information here on WagerTalk Today.
Chart time. Ralph Michaels, I hand the mic to you, my friend.
Well, Prez and Steve, we're down to the final week of college football, and what are we going to read so many times? This 5-6 team is motivated to win a game, because if they win this game, they're 6-6 and now bowl eligible. I'll tell you what, that same team was motivated when they were 0-0. That same team was motivated when they were 0-1. People automatically perceive 5-6 teams have an edge. Well, I went to the database and we broke it down. Now, the sample size isn't huge, because we're only talking about a certain set of 5-6 teams each year. There are 19 this year, broken down over the last 5 years. And thinking it through, when I wanted to analyze the data, I divided it into 2 categories. Teams that were 4-6 knew they were a long shot to win their last 2 games, come in with positive momentum, and are 5-6 off a win. On the flip side, teams that were 5-5, all we got to do is win one more game. They lose their last game, so now they're 5-6 coming in off a loss. Well, guys, take a look at the top chart. When teams are off a win, if they're at home, they've covered 75%. When they're on the road, they've covered 57%. The absolute shocking number to me, guys, if you were a 5-5 team and you're off a loss, now you're 5-6 playing with pressure, and you're at home, you have covered 39%. And if you're on the road, you have covered 58%. So let me read off. There are 19 teams that fit the category this week. 1 already lost, San Jose. Take a look at that bottom chart. 6 win teams off a loss, and at home, That 39% record, guess what? It drops one more with San Jose's loss last night. The other teams in the negative category this week: Charlotte, Florida, Florida Atlantic, Memphis, Rutgers, South Alabama, Syracuse. The teams in a positive, those 5 and 6 teams off a win at home: LSU, North Texas, Old Dominion. And the other teams falling in the 57% categories: Maryland, Middle Tennessee State, Troy, Va-Tech, Florida State, TCU, Tulsa, and West Virginia. Guys, I will tweet this out right after I drop off this show. Just go to at CalSportsLV on Twitter. I'll put up the record charts and the teams it applies to.
Ralph Michaels joining us, everyone, and Ralph, man, that it just makes so much sense what you're saying, and I love these stats and numbers. I would do a Ralph Michaels show every day if I could. We got some promos going, everybody. It's Thanksgiving weekend, Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Steve, Ralph, you tell them. Steve.
Yeah, Ralph. Well, I'll tell you what, Ralph, real quick on that. I've always said must-win teams are not in must-win situations because they're good enough to win when they must win. And we see that all the time in the NFL as well in December. If you blindly played against teams that had to win against teams that are out of the playoffs for decades, it was a winning angle just playing those bad teams. So once again, a 5 and 6 team is a 5 and 6 team because they're not good enough just to turn it on. So not surprising that a team that gets that win doesn't necessarily get the second win as well. So I think that's really interesting stuff. And of course, 6 and 6 gets you into the bowls for the last 5 years or so.
Yeah, and more importantly, if you're a 6 and 6 team, it's not about going to some crappy bowl that you may not have any fans to. It's getting 20 extra practices. That is the biggest thing. I can think back, North Texas, when they dominated the Sun Bowl, they were the only team making a bowl game every year. That was before we went wild on the number of bowl games. And those 20 extra practices gives you a leap year of extra experience for your young kids going into next season. So the importance isn't the postseason, it's the postseason practices that you are allowed to have when you are a bowl-eligible team.
Although these kids nowadays might not want to practice an extra 20 times, right, Prez?
Dude, I hate practice. That's why I never made it at anything. Ralph, speaking of two teams that are and will remain bowl eligible, Oklahoma, number 10 in the country, 10-1 versus Oklahoma State, 10-1 as well, 7 in the country. It's rivalry week. There's so many unbelievable matchups. This is one of them. Oklahoma State -4.5, a total bet down to 49.5. How you betting this game?
Well, I said this on Wednesday on the Best Damn College Football Show with Drew and Rob. I'm not sure how much better Georgia is defensively than this Oklahoma State Cowboys team. Yes, Georgia has many more NFL players, but man, they passed the eye test where I would have the best defenses 1A and 1B, and a lot of people are going to call me drunk or high for saying something like that. But, when you get to number 1, you can't quantify how good you are number 1. And yes, you hold a team to a certain amount of yards, but if that team is horrific offensively, that really doesn't mean much in college football when you when you have 130 teams and your top to bottom difference in power ratings is 60 plus. But what I do love to quantify with a defense, especially when we're in the final regular season game, is how many times this defense held their opponent to a season low. Well, guess what? 7 times this year, including each of the last 4 games, has this Oklahoma State defense held Oregon to a season low. Now, when we look at the Oklahoma Sooners have played 3 road games. Big favorite of Kansas State. What happens? They get outgained. 30-plus point favorite at Kansas. You lose the game and you get outgained against Kansas. What happens last road game? They go to Baylor. They get outgained by 154 yards, and the offense gains 260 yards. If you say that was an anomaly, guess what happened last week? Iowa State, they gained 305 yards, and they were at home against Iowa State. I'm not going to get to the Cowboy side because it's the rivalry, but man, put me in at the under. I'm finishing up my Saturday card. This is in my top 6 or 7 for the mix. Likely to be an all-access customer play under in Oklahoma State for me.
And once again, if you'd like to get all of Ralph's best bets for the next 7 days and nights, you can do so for $69. In fact, that applies to any capper right now. Prez, myself, Steve Merril, Ralph Michaels at WagerTalk.com. 7 days and nights for $69 is still available. But Prez, we have a huge Black Friday. It is Black Friday, so we got to have something. 30% discount on any package, $149 or more. That's basically any monthly or seasonal subscription. $149 or more, you're getting a 30% discount today on Black Friday at WagerTalk.com. You can use it often and over again. Just some fantastic value there. And don't forget also college football top 25 video. I've got that posted here on WagerTalk TV. And Ralph, I do dig into that OU Oklahoma State game in depth as well. So I recommend people to check that out. But I'll also be on the college basketball show at around 1:45 Eastern today. And one of the 3 games we are talking about is Gonzaga-Duke. And it's about as big as it comes. You won't be on with me today, so I'd love to get your take on this huge game. Gonzaga just beat UCLA by 20. They're looking damn good again, to say the least. They're laying 8 right now. 7.5, 8, 8.5 has been jumping around. Open 7.5, now up to 8, 8.5. Ralph, does Duke have a chance? A young Duke team, do they have a chance with this Gonzaga powerhouse tonight?
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, when you got Banchero, the number 1 player that's going to go in the draft, maybe Holmgren. I mean, we likely have the number 1 and number 2 players matching up here as big. I mean, an incredible experience if you're a college basketball fan as a matchup early. But I look at the situation, and it has me on the Zags. Now, I'm going to talk about why I like the Zags, but then at the end, I'm not going to lean with them full game. I'm only going to lean with them first half. You look at Gonzaga, and yes, they've been tested against Texas. What do? They shoot 54%, and they win by 12. Then the huge rematch against UCLA. They take care of UCLA, hand them by 20. I'm not that impressed with the UCLA game. Let's remember, the Bruins were without Cooper Riley. When you have a multi-year center who is out against the Zags front line of 7-foot Holmgren and 6'11" Timmy, you're not going to beat that team. So while Gonzaga impressed me, I think that was more with what UCLA was missing in the middle. But the situation that I love to play here is Duke played in a big arena already, Madison Square Garden against Kentucky. They took care of business, shot 50%, and won that game 79-71. Guess what? That was November 9th. Since that time, they've played at home in 9,000-seat Cameron Indoor. They've played Army, Campbell, Gardner-Webb, Lafayette, and Citadel. The top offense they faced, Campbell. Are you afraid of Campbell's offense? Hell no. The top defense they played, as far as Ken Palm numbers are concerned, Army. Are you afraid of Army's defense in basketball? Hell no. The second huge advantage the Zags have, they just played 2 games in T-Mobile Monday, Tuesday. Duke is now playing in a big arena against the best defense and the best offense they faced, against a Zags team that is as comfortable as hell as any in the country that comes and plays in Vegas every year for their tournament, and just played 2 games in this same setting on Monday and Tuesday against Baylor, Central Michigan, and UCLA. I think that gives the Zags a huge edge early. I am going to go Gonzaga first half. They shoot as well as anyone. Their worst shooting game this year, 53.3% offensively. Duke the last 2 weeks, last 2 games against Lafayette shot 46%. Against the Citadel, only shot 49%. Zags get out early. Duke needs to make the adjustments to a big arena with T-Mobile. Zags, early. I like first half over, and I do like the full game over as well. So I'm not sure any of these are going to make my college basketball card, but definite leans for me and a must-watch game tonight at 10:30 p.m. Eastern.
Ralph Michaels, everyone. Ralph, thanks so much for joining us, man. We got so much left to talk about, Steve. Merrill's big game breakdown, Adam Trigger, Andy Lang, the NFL, the daily presidential address. Speaking of the NFL presidential address, it was taped on Wednesday. It should be up any minute now. I don't know what exactly is taking so long, but I do know we have a million shows we do a day, and Joe and his staff are so busy. So bear with us. We will get it up. It's pretty good. I'm happy with it, especially given that I was in Punta Cana while filming it. Guys, 2 minutes, 20 seconds, and we're right back.
A Black Friday quiz, which is better? 1, paying $349 for a 1 month all access, or 2, paying $244.30 for 1 month all access. The day after Thanksgiving, we want to continue giving thanks by giving all of our customers 30% off anything priced at $149 or more. A Black Friday sale was always a once-a-year chance to buy something at big discount, and this is it. Even better, we are running this promotion Black Friday through the end of Cyber Monday and making coupon code THANKS30 have unlimited uses. Whether it's a single sport package, a 30-day all access, a full season of college hoops, or a full 12 months from your favorite handicapper, you will save 30% with coupon THANKS30. You can fill your goodie bag as many times as you want until the clock strikes midnight on Monday.
It's time for a little big game breakdown. Friday, November the 26th here on WagerTalk Today. I'm going to look at a college football game for tonight on Friday. In fact, the last game on the board, a lot of afternoon, early evening games. So this game goes at 8 o'clock Eastern on Fox Sports 1 National TV Friday night. The Apple Cup. I love apples. And this is an interesting matchup this year, Washington State, Washington. You know, the Huskies have pretty much been the dominant team in the state of Washington for decades. In fact, they've gone 47-15 at home in this series since 1900. It's been 14 years since the Cougars have come in and won the game here at Washington, yet they're a 1-point favorite tonight. You know, the look-ahead line a week ago before the teams last played was going to be Washington -3. Now they're +3, and I think it's an overreaction. I'm going to give you a couple reasons here why I think the Huskies are a live home dog. First of all, my power ratings actually favor the Washington Huskies by 5.5 points tonight. So I disagree with them going from a 3-point favorite to a 1-point dog. I understand the logic, though, and the public is definitely on Washington State tonight. You know, we talk about fade the public in the NFL, and the college football doesn't work as often, but this is a situation where I think we have a pretty public side with Washington State, a contrarian call with the Washington Huskies. And yes, it's been a disappointing season. At 4-7, this is their final game, but for that reason, this is their bowl game. It's their rival. I think they're going to be up for this game. They're going to snap that 3-game losing streak. Meanwhile, Washington State is bowl eligible already at 6-5, and they got that win last week, 44-18 over Arizona. Now, they're not going to overlook this game, but it's no longer a must-win. I think the setup is pretty good for the Washington Huskies here, and I like the pass defense. You know, Washington's had a down season. It's because of their offense. They're struggling to score, 22 points a game, 5 yards per play, but it's still one of the best pass defenses in all of college football. When you factor in the tough slate of opposing Pac-12 offenses they've played, they give up nearly 2 yards per pass below average or above average, 5.2 against teams that average 7.1. Washington State, an average passing team, a below average running team. Could be a low scoring game too. That's why the total is a low 45. I think the Washington Huskies +1 qualifies a contrarian home dog tonight. We'll take the value with the Huskies, a team that was a favorite a week ago, would have been a much bigger favorite a couple months ago. Now is the home underdog. Washington Huskies +1. Your big game breakdown, 8 o'clock Eastern tonight on Friday. Back to you, El Presidente.
Oh, thank you, my friend. Awesome stuff. Let's bring Adam Trigger in. Let's keep the show moving. Ad, nice to have you, man. How you been doing? I see you got a 5% up for Sunday.
Yeah, no, everything's been going great. I'm on a 10-3 run. I've hit 3 5% plays in a row. So I've got one I really like for Sunday in the NFL. And myself, my hustle, co-host Chris Thurston and our friend Patrick Wall are still in Circa Survivor. So we're one of the 40 entries left in Circa Survivor. So we got through Thanksgiving with the Bears on a last-second field goal. And
the bonus.
Yeah.
That's the bonus. That's right.
So that is pretty exciting. We're gonna have to find a winner for Sunday, but yeah, so everything's going well.
Man, that's really awesome. Last year, Carmen and I were partners in the Circa, and we screwed it on Thanksgiving. So I'm glad you made it through. Neither of us got through this year. I mean, so many insane upsets. I lost. I got knocked out on New Orleans. I think it was against Washington. I can't even remember. It all blends right now. Anyway, let's get into it, man. Vikings 49ers. You know, this is a game that fascinates me because, and I've been telling everybody, the Vikings, they catfish you. You know, they pretend they're a girl, and then you fly across the country to meet them, and they're a guy. Or the opposite way around, depending on who you're interested in. You know, they look incredible, best looking team in the league, and they have a mole with a hair coming out of their cheek. San Fran ain't much different, bro. 1 week they are freaking Kate Upton, the next week Kathy Bates. I don't know what to do here. I like the over. It might make my card. I'm really curious how you're handicapping this one.
Yeah, Prez, so I chose this game. I've actually come on this show and talked about the Vikings now 3 straight weeks in a row. 2 weeks ago, I backed the Vikings against the Chargers. It won. Last week, I gave out the Vikings, which actually became a 4% play for me, and that won. So I figured, let's come on Wager Talk today and talk Vikings again. But this time, I'm looking to play against them. I made and I think a lot of people made a big mistake earlier this year, not fading the Raiders after like the whole Henry Ruggs thing, and then just all of this sort of the tumultuous stuff they went through. So I'll start there. Obviously, a situation with Everson Griffin this week, where he's like in his house with a gun. I actually don't even know the particulars of it, but I know it's a big deal, and it could probably keep him out this weekend. But it's just a distraction, and I mean, there's people concerned for his well-being, and I think we like discount the fact that, like, you know, for all the Vikings players, a lot of it that's one of their friends, and that was like the same thing with Ruggs. You know, a terrible situation, but he's, you know, the players are still. It's just a big distraction, okay? And so so you add that into the fact the Vikings are going on the road. They just had a massive win over Green Bay, so a possible letdown spot. But also, if Griffin's out, that makes 2 guys out on the defensive line because it looks like Dalvin Tomlinson's already been ruled out. And the one thing that the 49ers do particularly well is run the football. And I think they've gotten better at that now that they've got some skilled players healthy. We know George Kittle came back a couple weeks ago. So the 49ers, you're right, Prez. Like, both of these teams it's like Dr. Jekyll and Hyde a little bit, where 1 week they look awesome. The next week they look terrible. But I think the 49ers, back-to-back wins, they've won 3 of 4. I feel like this is a 49ers team on an uptick a little bit. And the Vikings, you know, they're 2-3 on the road this year. They struggle against the run, and I think that's going to be magnified even more with some guys out on the defensive line. So I just think this is a tough road spot for the Vikings. You've got a 49ers team that's starting to sort of get it together, and I kind of like San Francisco to take a step forward and get the win here.
Yeah, and not only does they're coming off the Packers win, Adam, but the Vikings now off 3 straight close games. You know, just wonder at some point when that takes a toll on a team. They're off of a 3-point loss before that, a 7-point win and a 3-point loss before that. They've played a lot of close games. Basically, every one of their last 6 games was decided by 7 points or less, /7, I think. So we'll see how that plays out. Niners also in a letdown spot last week at Jacksonville did not let down. They just throttled the Jags from the start. I thought that was actually a little bit impressive and surprising. I want to transition to college basketball. Once again, the 1:45 Eastern college basketball show will be on in about an hour. This is not a game we'll be talking about. We will be talking about that Gonzaga-Duke game that Ralph just broke down. This game a little bit less appealing maybe from a big ranking perspective, but you're looking at Montana State, Portland, and these are often the games in which you find great value in college basketball, these smaller mid-major conferences. And don't forget, if you want to still dig into all these conferences, Adam did over 20 previews at WagerTalk News. You just go to wagertalk.com. Top corner, you click Wager Talk News. You can still find all of his conference previews for the Big Sky included. Which way you going in this one? Montana State, Portland at 3 o'clock Eastern start. A little bonus for our live viewers here on Wager Talk today.
Yeah, so Steve, I have a 4% play in college basketball up that goes tonight. This one, you're right. You can find value in these smaller conferences, and I was actually hoping for a little bit more value here on the number, which is probably the only reason it's not like a 4% client play or more at this point. But I'm looking at Montana State. This is actually one of the teams I wrote about in one of those write-ups as a play-on team for me, and they come into this game 1-3. But let's just really get 3 losses. Opening night, they lost in overtime to Colorado. I actually gave them out as a 4% play. They were an 11.5 point underdog. Took Colorado to overtime and really should have won that game. Ended up losing by 4 in overtime. They got blown out by South Dakota State on the road. No big deal. South Dakota State's probably going to win the Summit League. They're likely an NCAA tournament team. So no big deal there. And then they lost on the road at New Mexico. Really tough place to play when there's fans, the pit. So again, I'm not going to really put too much into the fact that they've lost those 3 games because those were really 3 very difficult true road games. So this game is actually down in San Antonio, Texas. It's part of the Incarnate Word Thanksgiving tournament. And like I said, I was kind of hoping for like -5 here on this one. They're laying 7, but I still think Montana State's the right side. This team's really good. Listen, these guys went on a run last March to the Big Sky Championship game. They fell just short to Eastern Washington, and they have essentially their whole team back. And 3 of those guys were seniors that I think were like on the fence about using the extra year, and they all came back. And I'm pretty sure the reason everyone is back is because they really believe in Coach Danny Sprinkle. It's his 3rd year. He's completely turned this program around. He brought in a transfer from Washington that's been a nice addition to the team, and Raekwon Battles. So this is just a team that I think is very undervalued. They're playing a Portland team that's 5-1, but they haven't really played anyone yet. And I think, interesting spot, like last week, Portland was a 9-point underdog to Portland State. It steamed all the way to Portland, only +5.5, and they blew them out. So I'm wondering if Portland's going to get some money again that maybe knocks this line down. So I haven't totally ruled out adding this to my client card. It's a 3 p.m. Eastern game, but I really think Montana State is a far better team. This is a neutral floor down in San Antonio. So I think you can find 6.5 now. It may even go to 6, but I think Montana State could potentially run Portland out of the gym here.
Adam Trigger, everybody. You can find him at WagerTalk.com. You can buy him for the next 7 days, $69 only. That promo ends, I think, on Sunday. And, of course, we have the Thanksgiving promo up. Thanks 30% off of any package over $149. Get out of here, brother. We got Andy Lang joining us in 2-3. Well, as soon as Dan says in my ear that Andy Lang is ready to go. But Steve, as we're organizing some Andy Lang, look ahead line. I know we have a whole slate of plays Sunday in NFL, but Las Vegas is -1.5 versus Washington for the following Sunday. That line just jumps the hell out of me, dude. I mean, like that there's a bet there. There is a bet on Vegas right there. Talk me off of it.
Well, I mean, the football team plays Monday night at home against Seattle also, so that's another intricacy there. And by the way, the football team's back-to-back wins. They had that upset of Tampa off their bye week. They're now 2-0. 2 big wins, though. Actually 3 big games. Look at this. Bye week to play the Super Bowl champs. Then they go down to Carolina to beat Ron Rivera's former team. That was a really emotional win. I think they gave him the game ball. And now they play a home Monday night game against Seattle and Russell Wilson. So, looks like a terrible spot on the surface for a mediocre team. And by the way, a look-ahead line was Seattle -3.5. Now the Washington team is -1 after their win last week. So lines are definitely shifting fast.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Like, if you guys could bet these look-ahead lines, I would go bet Vegas right the hell now, personally. Andy freaking Lang, baby, what's up?
What are you guys doing? Man, you guys look great for after Thanksgiving, especially you, Prez.
Well, firstly, I was in Punta Cana for Thanksgiving. Secondly, I'm not American.
Canadian.
Thanksgiving
I
is in
know.
October.
That's the joke. That's
and
that's
thirdly,
part of the.
It was funny.
oh, is that part of the joke?
That was
joke
that was the
alert!
joke.
Joke
No jokes.
alert!
You're not allowed to joke. Only the host can joke.
Yeah. Yeah. Come on, man. Anyway, Andy, we're running out of time. Mike's yours.
All right. Let's talk some unders. I kind of have a theme going here this week, and I want to talk a couple running backs who I've talked about recently who I see unders are going to be the theme for playing them the rest of the season. So let's talk about Najee Harris. I love him under 105.5 rushing and receiving yards. This guy went 5 games in a row with 25 or more touches. He's not used to this kind of workload in the NFL. And I talked about it last week on Prop It Up that look towards these unders on these guys that are getting huge workloads, especially teams that are fighting for playoffs because they're using these guys and they're running them into the ground. And sure enough, what happened last week, 12 carries for 39 yards, 5 catches for 20 yards. He's gone 5 games in a row without averaging over 4 yards a carry. And with as simple as this Pittsburgh Steelers offense is, and as weak as Big Ben's arm is at stretching the field at this point, it's just becoming easier for teams to crowd the line and hold him to really, really low carries. I think the workload's catching up to it. I think his explosiveness, he hasn't gone over his longest rush prop in 5 straight games. There's just not a lot of explosion here, and it's going to be easy for the Bengals to crowd the line and hold him up. I think this number is way, way too high. This is going to be a tough divisional game. I like Najee Harris under 105.5 rushing and receiving. Another running back, Darrell Henderson. I'll take him under 83.5 rushing and receiving yards. His carries have gone down 5 games in a row, and this is his first season in this lead role, and he has 149 touches this year in 9 games. Last year in 15 games, he only had 154. So he's getting a lot of work that he's not used to. And don't underestimate the loss of Robert Woods. He was a big part of the blocking game with the Rams on the outside. And I know they're coming off of a bye week. They can get healthy. We saw Justin Jefferson wreak havoc on the Packers secondary. So I think the way the Rams are going to attack the Packers are going to be with Cooper Kupp. We have a week off, so maybe Odell gets some more looks. And also Sony Michel is going to get some carries. So the Rams are a bottom 12 team in rush attempts per game. I think the workload is coming down for Henderson. I look for Stafford to be the main weapon along with Cooper Kupp and possibly Odell in the passing game. I don't think there's a lot there for Henderson this week. Under 83.5 rushing and receiving. And my last under is a first quarter under. I love playing these, and the Browns and Ravens are set up beautifully for a first quarter under. Total is 9.5. Listen, Baltimore is 8-1 to the under in first quarters this season. They do not start off fast at all. And we have 2 quarterbacks I have a lot of questions about health-wise. We know Baker's banged up. That is very obvious. But Lamar Jackson was really sick last week, non-COVID, but that had to have taken a lot out of him. I'm not sure he's going to be completely 100% healthy. So we get a really banged up Baker Mayfield. You get a Ravens team with Lamar Jackson that may be having some little bit of side effects of that illness he had last week, and a Ravens team that doesn't score in the first quarter. The Baltimore 8-1 to the under is a big stat. And last week, the Browns and Lions first quarter sailed under. So the Browns and Ravens first quarter under 9.5 is an easy play for me. And then for fun, Steve, I got to run this play by you. Isaiah Stewart, he's coming back, okay? The prop is under half of a made 3-pointer, so he needs to get 1. It's minus 500 for him to not make one. Here are the stats. You tell me this is a good bet or bad bet. So he's played in 16 games, and he's only made a 3-pointer once this year, and it was at the end of a shot clock, a big heave outside the arc. So he's 1 for 9 for the season. In 16 games, he has 8 games where he hasn't even attempted a 3-pointer. He hasn't attempted one 3 games in a row. He hasn't made a 3-pointer all month. And this play is on a 10-game win streak. So will you lay minus 500 on Isaiah Stewart to not make a 3-point shot? Good or bad?
Yeah, and Andy, by the way, that's a 3:30 Eastern tip-off, so once again, a little bonus afternoon action for our live viewers. Yeah, look, you say, well, why isn't it higher? That would be Teddy's rebuttal, right? But there's an 83% chance. 500 is equivalent to, 5 to 1, 83%. Yeah, they're big for a reason. And a lot of times with the Super Bowl props, as you guys know, there's actually value with those big money, minus money props because the public doesn't play them. So I do bless that. I think more than 5 out of 6 times it has won and will continue to win. And Clippers, 29% allowed from 3 on the road this year. One of the best 3-point defenses, at home in the league this year. So you got a lot working for you there, Andy. I bless it, my son, the Propmaster, Andy Lang, WagerTalk.com.
There you go. Andy, thanks for joining us, brother. Remember, everyone, Andy is on the NFL presidential address. It should be up any minute now. Steve, normally we need 100 likes for the daily presidential address. I left on an 8-1-1 run on the daily presidential address plays, and we did not get 100 likes on my last show, so we didn't have a daily presidential address. However, it is Thanksgiving, and as a result, we have less live viewers, 200 live viewers right now, 79 thumbs up. I will prorate it. So let's go, Dan. Daily presidential address. Welcome, everybody, and I'm back, guys. I was in Punta Cana at Secrets Royal Beach. It was outstanding. The food was great. The weather there is unbelievable. Why the hell do I live in Toronto? Completely different story. It's freezing cold and miserable here. I just want to let everybody know I got a big card going Friday night. I got 4 hockey games. The first goes at 5 or 6. I got an NBA play up tonight, and I'm killing it in the NBA. Steve, I'm absolutely rolling in the NBA. And not only this year, dude, all the way back to midway through last year. Like, my last 220 NBA plays, I'm like around 57 and something percent. I mean, just total consistency. So, guys, take advantage of that. I have 3 NFL plays up for Sunday as well, and I have a 5% college football play for tomorrow that will be going up later tonight. Okay, 3 plays for tonight. I'm betting these plays. 2 hockey plays, 2 NFL plays. Dallas and Colorado over the total of 5.5. Guys, Nate McKinnon hasn't played in months, and this team goes over every single night. They are putting up 5 goals almost consistently night in, night out. Dallas is a team that plays to the under, but not of late. This is a team that's also consistently scoring. 5.5 is a low number. Take over 5.5. Also, we got to go with the Columbus Blue Jackets, minus 145, but take them in regulation at plus money. They're playing the Vancouver Canucks, who have just sucked of late. As for the NFL, a play that might make my card still is the Rams and Green Bay over the total. I'm just waiting on definitive word that Aaron Rodgers is going to play. I expect him to play, but I need him and Devontae Adams in for that game to go over the total. If he doesn't play, take the Rams team total over and take the New York Giants plus 3.5. That's it, Steve. I got a falafel sandwich waiting for me. Take us home, baby.
Sounds okay. I like those smoked meat sandwiches you talk about. Those are the ones that get me going. But hey, look, that's the most efficient 2 minutes you're going to see all day from the Prez. I'm going to count that shot at the buzzer. I think Dan was a little quick on the buzzer trigger there, so we're going to count that. Hey, thanks for having me on today, filling in for Teddy Covers. He'll be back on Monday with the Prez here on Wager Talk Today, every Monday through Friday, 12 Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Don't forget, archive 24/7 right here on YouTube, Wager Talk TV. Don't forget to check out my college football top 25 video. Post it right now. NFL Fade the Public will be ready tomorrow on Saturday. And as Prez said, full week for $69. All sports still available. Even better, 30% off any subscription package of $149 or more with Thanks 30 at WagerTalk.com. Thank you, Prez, for letting me fill in with you on Friday, on Black Friday. Thank you to all the viewers that joined us. Thank you to Adam Trigger, Andy Lang, and, of course, the human database, Ralph Michaels. Thanks to Dan back producing for us. We'll be back on Monday right here, noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Wager Talk Today. Have a great weekend.
A Black Friday quiz, which is better? 1, paying $3.49 for a 1-month all access, or 2, paying $244.30 for 1 month all access. The day after Thanksgiving, we want to continue giving thanks by giving all of our customers 30% off anything priced at $149 or more. A Black Friday sale was always a once-a-year chance to buy something at big discount, and this is it. Even better, we are running this promotion Black Friday through the end of Cyber Monday and making coupon code THANKS30 have unlimited uses. Whether it's a single sport package, a 30-day all access, a full season of college hoops, or a full 12 months from your favorite handicapper, you will save 30% with coupon THANKS30. You can fill your goodie bag as many times as you want until the clock strikes midnight on Monday.